Welcome back to the Pacific Office Automation postgame scoreboard show. Ryan Buckley, Will Ortner, Jordan Schultz here with you after the Ducks improved to 12-0 on the season with a 49-21 win over their rival, the Washington Huskies, setting up a date in the Big Ten championship game next week. The Ducks had already punched their ticket, but now we actually know the opponent, and no, it's not Ohio State. I was going to get to this a little bit later in the show, but since we got to the jumping off point with Anthony about what next week could look like against the Nittnay Lions, might as well get into it a little bit here. Huge surprise today as Michigan, who was nearly a 3-touchdown underdog by kickoff at Ohio State in Columbus at the Shoe, wins 13-10 in a stunner. They hold Ohio State without a first down from the 5:59 mark of the third quarter on. An incredible upset, fisticuffs at the end of the game, a new chapter in that history rivalry.
Awesome.
But the biggest thing for us here as Duck fans and Duck followers, they're not playing the Ducks in the Big Ten championship game anymore. Now it's the Nittnay Lions, because after Ohio State lost, it was Penn State's to lose. If they won, they're in. If they had lost and Indiana won, they're in. But Penn State takes care of business. So now you know who you're playing, a team you did not get on your regular season schedule this year, a team who a lot of people have criticized their schedule this year besides Ohio State, who they lost to in a one-possession game. But how do you make this matchup for the Ducks and the Nittnay Lions? What are the things that have either impressed you or that you think the Ducks need to be wary of when it comes to facing this team, Will? And what are the things that aren't so impressive?
Anthony mentioned it right away. Defensive end Abdul Carter. You got to find a way to slow that man down. He's had 4 games this year where he's had multiple sacks. He is a one-man wrecking crew. You have Mateo Uyunglele. You have Jordan Birch if you're the Oregon Ducks. Abdul Carter might be a slight step above. But the thing is, they only have one of those guys. Now, the defense is still a typical James Franklin, Penn State, hard-nosed defense.
Yeah.
If you watched any of that Ohio State game, you know that they came to play. In fact, that defense, they scored as many points as their offense did.
Got
right?
a pick six early in that one, yeah.
You might say they scored more if you're going to give them the PAT as well. So you have to be ready and be prepared for your offense at times to get bogged down, to get stopped, to slow down. There is a reason why they're the number 4 team in the country. They're probably going to be the number 3 team in the country by the time that you play them. They are very good defensively. Offensively, I'm a little higher on Drew Aller, the quarterback, than Anthony is. I think he can make all the throws. You saw against USC, he had a game where he threw for multiple interceptions. He was not having his best game in the first half, and then in the second half, he's the reason that they came back in that game. Well, him and their tight end, Tyler Warren. Get ready, Oregon fans, if you haven't watched any Penn State, and I understand why you might not. Tyler Warren is going to be all over the field. He's going to line up at quarterback. He's going to line up at fullback. He's going to line up at running back. He's going to line up at wide receiver. He's going to line up at tight end. Oh, by the way, Buck, I don't know if you know this. He has a play where he lined up at center. That's how versatile this player is. He's going to be the best tight end in the country. He's going to win that award. He's unbelievable. And what Kotelnicki and that offense likes to design for him, they're going to find a way to get him the football. You're going to have to match up somebody to stop him. I don't know who that is because of the different positions that he plays. I don't know that you can just say, well, Bryce Betcher is going to be our lockdown on him, and he's going to take him away. Can't necessarily
spy him the way you would a more
typical tight end, a typical receiver where you can just, Muhammad's going to be on him. You're going to have to find a way to stop him. But the best way to stop him is to get pressure. It's a good Penn State offensive line. I don't know that it is the best offensive line that Penn State has had. They've turned into a little bit of O-line U. If you can get Uyunglele, Tuioti, Birch after the passer, Aller isn't the most mobile. He can move a little bit, but he's not the most mobile. He's not going to run around like Williams did tonight. You can get after him, get a couple sacks on him. I don't like this receiving core for the Nittnay Lions. They don't run past people. They're big. They're strong. They're going to try and push you around, but I think Oregon has the secondary to combat that. I'm with Anthony. I would load the box, try and stop the run, and in this game, if the Ducks offense can get up 14-17, and that's a big ask, I don't know that Penn State has the offensive firepower to come back. Penn State wants to play this game at a 17-14 clip, a 21-17, right? If it goes above probably 28 points in this game, and the Ducks score that 28 point, you're probably going to win this football game.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I really think if you can get to 3 touchdowns, this thing might just be yours.
I think
And
4 to be safe.
I totally agree with you. I think if you get the Ducks' best defensive effort in this game, you could hold them to 10 points. I mean, I'm not saying
I don't disagree.
And that's not to say that's the expectation, but I think it could be that good. It could be that dominant if everything aligns the way that you want it to.